Ever feel like intrusive thoughts are driving you around like an overly opinionated taxi driver who won't take a hint? Today I'm sharing 3 metaphors that will help you regain control, manage those OCD thoughts, and finally enjoy the journey. So let's dive straight in. Metaphor 1, the bus driver metaphor. Intrusive thoughts are like backseat drivers. Loud, annoying, and never helpful. Now imagine this, you're driving a bus on a sunny day, the perfect breeze is blowing through the window, your favorite playlist is humming in the background. It's a great day, you're cruising along, and life feels good. But then, at the next stop, things take a turn for the worse. A group of unruly passengers climbs on board. And it's like they all agree to make your life as miserable as possible. One is yelling, "You're going the wrong way." Another is loudly questioning your ability to drive at all. And one particularly dramatic passenger keeps insisting, "This bus is going to crash." So what do? Well, you start arguing with them, trying to quieten them down. You even pull over and beg for them to behave themselves. But the more attention you give them, the louder they get. And now they're yelling over each other and your peaceful drive has turned into absolute chaos. Here's the thing, these passengers, they're your intrusive thoughts. They're noisy, demanding, and totally convinced they know better than you. But just like real passengers, you can't kick them off the bus. Trying to fight with them only gives them more power, like handing a megaphone to the loudest one. Instead, what if you just let them be? Let them complain, shout, overreact, while you keep your hand on the wheel. You don't have to agree with them, engage with them, or even like them. You just keep driving, and as you do so, those annoying passengers, over time, they start to settle down. And eventually they might even completely get off the bus. Certainly in my own life, this bus driver metaphor has been really helpful. There's been so many times where I've wanted to throw these unruly passengers off the bus to get rid of my thoughts and to just feel good straight away. But of course, that just makes things a lot worse. OCD tends to get stronger when we try to push it away like that. So when we actually focus on our values and the things that really matters to us, in this case, if you're the bus driver, hopefully that would be driving the bus safely. Well, actually, we begin to forget about the obsessions because we're not so focused on them anymore. And actually, in your day-to-day life, if you can choose to focus on what's truly important, rather than, all of these annoying passengers, the thoughts that keep coming up out of nowhere, well, you can actually keep yourself on the right track. Metaphor 2, the mosquito bite. Intrusive thoughts are a lot like mosquito bites. They show up uninvited, they're intensely annoying, and they always seem to hit you at just the worst times, like when you're finally trying to relax. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you resist the urge to scratch, the bite still itches, but eventually it fades. Your body does what it's supposed to do and you move on. It's the same with intrusive thoughts. If you let them be without engaging or reacting with them, trying to push them away, they lose their power over time. It's not easy, but it really does work. The takeaway, don't give intrusive thoughts the satisfaction of being scratched. Mosquitoes are annoying enough without us making them feel even more important. A way that I like to extend this metaphor just a little bit further is to think about your values and your goals. These are so important when it comes to acceptance commitment therapy. And if you imagine yourself, running, I often like to go running in the evenings. Often there's mosquitoes buzzing all around me, but because I have the goal of completing the run, hopefully in a quick time, then the mosquitoes can't get me. They can't land on me because I'm moving a bit too quickly, because I'm focused on my values and my goals. And it's so important that we do that. When we're focused on OCD, we're focused on our fears. Our head kind of goes down. We're not moving anymore. But if we keep moving towards what is most important to us, it can really insulate us from annoying things like mosquitoes. Metaphor 3, the radio station. Intrusive thoughts are like that one radio station that you can't stand, but for some reason it's always the one with the strongest signal. Imagine that your mind is like a radio. It's always tuned in to different stations. Sometimes you're on the feel-good hits of the day, but at other times you're really tuned in to a very negative radio station with an annoying negative presenter. Intrusive thoughts are like that loud, annoying radio station that you'd much rather not be paying attention to, and that actually you don't have to pay attention to. So what's our instinct when we hit a bad station? Well, we try to fix it, twisting the knobs, pressing buttons, anything to get rid of that noise. But sometimes the more we fiddle with it, the worse it gets. And that's exactly what happens when you engage with intrusive thoughts. You're trying to find clarity, but instead you're amplifying the static. Here's the hack. You don't have to fix the bad station. Let it play quietly in the background while you focus on what matters to you. You can even turn the volume down if you want. It's just noise. You don't need to analyze or even to react to it. You can even imagine yourself kind of taking a radio, throwing it out the window. You're not going to pay so much attention to that moving forward. The thing about intrusive thoughts is that they're persistent, like a song you hate but can't quite get out of your head. The more attention that you give to them, the more that they tend to loop and go round in those infuriating circles. But if you focus on other stations, the things you value, your goals, the static becomes less noticeable, and eventually you forget it's even there. By now you've heard 3 metaphors to help you with intrusive thoughts. But why are metaphors so powerful when it comes to OCD? Well, one important thing is that they're not just fun mental images. They're tools that can reshape how you think and feel in the moment. Metaphors tap into how the brain naturally works, connecting abstract ideas to concrete images. They simplify complicated emotions or mental patterns, making them easier for us to understand and manage. When you use a metaphor, it creates a little bit of distance between you and the thought. And instead of saying, I am my thoughts, you start to see them as something separate from you, almost like passengers on a bus or static on the radio. So how can you use these metaphors in the best way? Well, one technique is visualization. Take a moment to really picture the metaphor. For instance, with the bus metaphor, imagine yourself gripping the wheel. Feel the firmness of the road under the tires, and this mental exercise makes the metaphor stick. Revisit the metaphor in difficult moments when OCD is really bothering you. Pause and ask yourself, what's my metaphor for this situation? Am I letting one of those annoying passengers take the wheel? Or am I tuning into that static that I really don't want to listen to? Another tip is to create your own metaphors. The ones we've talked about today are just examples. What imagery works best for you? Maybe your intrusive thoughts are like waves that you can ride or balloons that you can let go of. Find what clicks and make it yours. So the next time an intrusive thought shows up, don't overthink it. Just grab your metaphorical mosquito repellent, switch the radio station, or tell those pesky passengers to enjoy the ride more quietly in the back. You've got this. If you found this episode helpful, please do share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips and insights on managing OCD and anxiety. Many thanks, and I will see you next time.
This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional mental health advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you are dealing with OCD, anxiety, or any mental health concerns, please consult a licensed mental health professional for support.